Park in Abuja. Obedient movement faces internal crisis as ex-finance director resigns. And political appointees with ambition to contest in 2027, given March 31st deadline to resign. And this is Abuja Report on AIT. I am Oyebimpe Wealth. Welcome. Now, operatives from the FCT Police Command have arrested one suspect and recovered a Toyota Corolla vehicle with registration number CAB 83BF, that gray in color, from one Blessing Owobete, a male of Dutse Al-Aji in Abuja. In a statement signed by the Police Public Relations Officer, FCT Police Command Josephine Ada, a resident of Galadima, Abuja, had reported at Mabuchi Police Division that is a Toyota Corolla S vehicle with registration number CAB 83BF, dark grey in color, had earlier been stolen from where it was parked in Kaduna State on the 5th of April 2024 by unknown persons. The statement said, acting swiftly on the report, police operatives from Mabuchi Division commenced an intelligence-led operation aimed at tracing the vehicle, where their efforts yielded positive results the same day as the stolen vehicle was successfully traced and recovered from one Blessing Owobete, a male of Dutse Al-Aji, Abuja. The suspects and the recovered vehicle are currently in police custody. While investigations are ongoing, the suspects will be charged to court upon the conclusion of investigations. Now, in another development, police operatives attached to Maitama Division have arrested a 45-year-old suspect identified as Abiola Yakubu at Diamond Junction in Maitama, Abuja. In a statement signed by the Police Public Relations Officer, FCT Police Command Josephine Ada, the police also recovered one locally made pistol and expanded ammunition in the suspect's car. The statement said while conducting routine stop and search patrol around Diamond Junction, Usetu, Abuja, the officers on duty cited dark-colored Toyota Corolla approaching the police barricade at high speed. It stated that all effort made to flag down the vehicle proved abortive as the driver ran through the barricade in a bid to avoid search. But the police operatives, however, gave him a hot chase in their patrol vehicle, eventually double-crossing and bringing the vehicle to a stop. The statement said the driver quickly disembarked from the vehicle, opened fire on the operatives, and attempted to escape the scene. The police team responded with superior firepower, overpowered and arrested the suspect, who was identified as Abiola Yakubu, 45 years old. A search conducted on the suspect led to the recovery of a locally made pistol with one expanded cartridge in his possessions. Preliminary investigations indicate that the suspect is a member of a court group and that he bought the locally made firearm found on him from his gang member named Jasper. The Commissioner of Police, FCT Police Command, CP Miller Dantawaye, has ordered a detailed investigation into the case to identify the source of the firearm and apprehend other members of the cult gang who are currently at large. Now, the Nigerian Army says it has neutralized over 60 terrorist fighters, including some notorious commanders, during a night operation in Malam Fatori, Adama local government area of Borno State. In a statement released on Wednesday, the Army said the attack occurred in the early hours of March 18, 2026, when terrorists suspected to be members of Boko Haram and ISWAP advanced on foot from the Duguri General area. The incident, reportedly supported by multiple armed drones, attempted to breach the 68th Battalion's main defensive position. Their movement was, however, swiftly detected by vigilante groups who responded with overwhelming firepower. In a coordinated operation, ground forces, in synergy with air components engaged the attackers decisively. The army says more than 60 terrorists were neutralized during the encounter, including several high-profile commanders. The intense firefight forced the remaining insurgents to retreat in disarray towards the Arege General area. Troops have since commenced exploitation operations to pursue the fleeing terrorists. Intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance platforms are also being deployed to monitor withdrawal routines and prevent any regrouping. The Nigerian Army reaffirmed its commitment to sustaining offensive operations against terrorist elements while assuring law-abiding citizens of its resolve to protect lives and properties across the country. The operation comes barely 72 hours after multiple explosions in parts of Maiduguri left about 23 people dead and over 100 others injured. Now, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is currently in the United Kingdom, where he has commenced activities for his historic state visit, with a key appearance scheduled today at Windsor Castle. The president, accompanied by First Lady Oluremi Tinubu, arrived in the UK on Tuesday and has since begun engagements aimed at strengthening diplomatic and economic ties between Nigeria and the United Kingdom. Today's highlight of the visit will see President Bola Ahmed Tinubu hosted at Windsor Castle by His Majesty's King Charles III and Queen Camilla, marking a significant movement in the two-day state visit. The visit, which runs from March 18 to 19, is the first state visit by the Nigerian leader to the UK in 37 years, underscoring renewed effort to deepen bilateral relations. As part of his itinerary, the president is expected to hold a bilateral meeting with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer at 10 Downing Street, where discussions will center on trade, investment, defense cooperation, and cultural exchange. Several agreements and memorandum of understandings are anticipated, including a major £746 million financing deal between UK Export Finance and the Nigerian Port Authorities to support the rehabilitation of key port infrastructure in Lagos. President Tinubu will further engage with business leaders, members of the Nigerian diaspora, and participate in cultural events showcasing Nigeria's heritage before concluding the visit. Now, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has directed all political appointees in his administration who intend to contest elective offices in the 2027 general elections to resign on or before March 31st, 2026. The directive was disclosed in a statement on Tuesday by Dewan Goshet, Head of Information and Public Relations at the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. According to the statement, the order is in line with Section 881 of the Electoral Act 2026 and the timetable released by the Independent National Electoral Commission for party primaries ahead of the 2027 polls. A circular signed by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, and issued by the Permanent Secretary General Services Office, Dr. Ibrahim Abubakar Kanu, stated that the directives affect all categories of presidential political appointees seeking legislative positions. Those affected include ministers, ministers of state, special advisors, senior special assistants, personnel assistants, as well as directors general and chief executive officers of federal government parastatal agencies, commissions, and government-owned companies. The statement added that all affected officials are required to submit their formal resignation letter through the OSGF on or before the stipulated deadline. President Tinubu said the move is aimed at ensuring compliance with electoral laws, promoting transparency in the political process, and providing a level playing field for all aspirants. He also urged all concerned officials to strictly adhere to the directive, reaffirming affirming his administration's commitment to strengthening democratic institutions and ensuring credible elections in the country. Now, persons with disabilities in Nigeria can now enjoy two major accessibility innovations. The first one is the Accessibility Mobility Announcement System, designed for public transport and to provide real-time audio and visual announcement for both blind and deaf passengers. The second one is the Tactile Building Map, aimed at supporting independent navigation within buildings for persons with visual impairments.
The technical know-how is here with us, including digital accessibility.
The leadership of the accessibility professionals in Nigeria told the National Accessibility Symposium and Convocation Ceremony in Abuja that there is a growing need to bridge the gap between disability law and practical implementation of the Discrimination Against Persons with Disabilities Prohibition Act 2018 by growing accessibility specialists across the country.
So for 5 years studying law, I had to climb stairs every day, sometimes 4 times every day, attending to lectures. At the law school, the same thing, inaccessibility. And if we travel to other countries, do we wonder why their society is considerate? We wonder how the society is accessible and why ours is so backward.
According to the Association of Accessibility Professionals, it was for that reason that it trained about 70 certified accessibility specialists from across the country in key areas, including accessibility audit and compliance, inclusive design architecture and building plan accessibility review, inclusive transport and mobility systems, and web accessibility design, equipping them with practical skills to drive implementation of Nigerians' disability law.
We are going to engage, we have started already engaging with policymakers, with those who design physical the environment, and even, in fact, policymakers at state and federal level.
You know, it's already in the law, but, you know, the House of Assembly of various states in Nigeria should abide and domesticate, you know, our disability law. It's already there.
The Association of Accessibility Professionals noted that the graduation and launch mark a significant step toward addressing the plight of people with disabilities in Nigeria. Dimas Nanzeng, AIT News, Abuja.
And this is Abuja Report on AIT, reaching you live from Akwadma Studios in Asokoro. Here's a reminder of our top stories. FCT police arrest suspects foil armed attack in Abuja. An Obedient Movement faces internal crisis as ex-finance director resigns. And political appointees with ambition to contest in 2027 given March 31st deadline to resign.
Don't let anything stop you from being active. But when a severe headache strikes, I always trust Sudrex Extra. Effective relief for severe headaches, muscle pain, and fever. Sudrex acts fast for pain relief and a non-drowsy effect. Safe and trusted for more than 20 years. Overcome pain and win your day.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Abuja Reports on AIT. Now, National Association of Proprietors of private schools have called on the federal government to look into issues bordering on what they term multiple taxation from different regulatory bodies. They made this known shortly after a magistrate court hearing wherein about 200 schools were summoned by the Department of Public Health of the Federal Capital Territory on issues of taxation. The association said they have always been regulated by only one body, which is the FCTA Education Secretariat, and think that whatever form of taxation should come through them and not multiple parties. They are praying the Federal Capital Territory Minister Nentom Wike to tackle issues of multiple taxations as it has continued to affect the education flow in the FCT. The Chief Magistrate, however, adjourned hearing and the matter to 16th April 2026.
The call was made shortly after a magistrate court hearing a suit in which about 200 schools were summoned by the Department of Public Health of the Federal Capital Territory on issues of taxation. The association say it has always been regulated by only one body, which is the FCTA Education Secretariat, and suggested that whatever form of taxation the schools have to pay must come from one source and not from multiple agencies.
We as Association of Education, we have a regulatory body, which is FCTA Education Secretariat. So anything coming to us should even be through them. So they're going, bringing court summons or whatever directly to us is not appropriate. So anything that has to do with us has to go through the FCTA Education Secretariat.
They are praying the Federal Capital Territory Minister, Nentom Wike, to tackle issues of multiple taxation as it has continued to affect the growth of the education sector in the FCT.
The institutional bodies in Abuja are causing conflict and they are disrupting the educational curriculum of our schools. And the school process. The authority at SCTA, the SCT minister, especially the health department, all right, and the Abuja Area Council should sit down and get this matter resolved once and for all.
Before the Chief Magistrate adjourned hearing in the matter to 16th April 2026, the school proprietors armed themselves with various inscriptions protesting peacefully at the court premises. Chibuzo Okezie, AIT News, Abuja.
Now, there is a growing need for safety simulation exercise across the country, especially in marketplaces, to help in addressing avoidable deaths in the country. This is according to the Abuja branch of the Institute of Safety Personnel of Nigeria as a safety simulation exercise in Utako and Gariki markets in Abuja.
According to the Institute of Safety Professionals of Nigeria, Abuja branch, safety management during emergency in public places across the country needed to be taken seriously. Hence, people must be equipped with requisite knowledge on most effective and efficient ways to manage casualties during emergencies in public places, especially in market gatherings. Relevant emergency management authorities in Nigeria insist that increased awareness is needed in safety management before the arrival of an ambulance on the scene of an emergency, which can help in saving lives during emergencies.
Oh yes, the first few minutes after an accident or medical emergency determines whether the person lives or not. So when people are equipped with this knowledge, trust me, a lot of lives will be saved. We can prevent a lot of deaths, especially in public spaces like this. There are a lot of formal institutions, formal places we've gone to, they've given knowledge, but public spaces like this, people and informal spaces, people don't give them so much. So we have taken it upon ourselves as an institute to come and do this for people.
Some of the traders said the simulation exercise has equipped them with the relevant information to deal with emergencies and helplessness in attending to casualties.
Companies, but thank God, this knowledge taught me a lot. On a more serious note, I don't know about this before, but this thing now taught me a lot, very, very much. For the first time people came, I was scared. Even I dropped my food, I wanted to go and rush to say what is going on, but I thank God I recovered that. You people are just putting on the earth.
The facilitators, Institute of Safety Professionals of Nigeria Abuja branch, in partnership with Ambulance Academy, expressed the hope that the safety simulation exercise will increase awareness and improve public health, equip people to be able to help during emergencies.
In most cases, when emergencies happen and the right needed skills is not there, you end up losing people that ordinarily wouldn't have lost them. Things like sudden collapse, things like fainting. Up to now, people pour water on casualties when they faint.
Absolutely. Now, this is why we are seeking partnership with national orientation agencies and other agencies, media like AIT. We have AIT here, to project what we're doing here and to take it out.
Provide support for accident victims and prevent minor injuries from becoming major ones. Dimas Nanzan, AIT News, Abuja.
Now, what began as a grassroots movement powered by hope and shared ideas is now facing internal cracks, leaving many of its supporters uncertain about the future. The Obedient Movement Nigeria has been hit by a fresh crisis following the resignation of its former Director of Finance, Peter Agada. AIT News correspondent Ogie Ihemekpe has the reports. We apologize for the mix-up in that visual. As the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs concludes arrangements to look for the crescent of Shawwal 1447 Muslims in Nigeria have been asked to join in the search on Wednesday, 29th Ramadan 1447 which is equivalent to 18th March 2026. In a statement signed by the Secretary General of the Council, Professor Emeritus Oloyede, if the crescent is sighted, His Eminence, the Sultan of Sokoto and President General of NSCIA would be informed either directly or through the already advertised Muslim traditional rulers or members of the National Moon Sighting Committee for further action. The statement further added that if the crescent is not sighted on Wednesday, the Eid shall be observed on Friday. The statement therefore calls on all Muslims to discharge their religious obligations, including paying zakatul fitr on behalf of all their family members and dependents. And that's Abuja Reports on AIT. I am Oebimpe Wealth. Thanks for staying with us.